Try this again. My last video flipped on me for some reason, and I hate that. I've been making these clamps for years, working at machine shops. They don't sell these. I'm kind of surprised, but this is one of the best ways to bring two pieces of metal level or squeeze them together when you don't have a long vice grip clamp. And this will work on any distance of metal. It doesn't matter how big the piece is. Just may need a heavier clamp. This is going to be pretty heavy for what I need it for. You take an old C-clamp and you cut the end of it off. So I got that cut off, and I need to make sure that this thing will thread down past this point. So when I tack this thing in place, this will go beyond, and it'll pull those two pieces of metal together. I am going to end up putting a tack right here and right here. I've already done it once on the car, and you'll see that in a minute. And I'll show you how this works. I'm just going to put two tacks on this, and that will hold this in place and allow me to draw, and you can see where I've had this on here and just broke it off. Once you've got this thing tacked in place and your metal is welded in place, all you do is you basically, once you loosen it, you just, and it pops right off. And you can see it's pretty clean right there, and I got a little bitty pinhole right there, which is fine because I just filled it in and grind it smooth and you'll never see it. So let me show you. I'll get this thing tacked in place, and we'll see, because you can see the sheet metal there's got a pretty good gap in it. So in some cases I'll tack here, and once it's pulled, I'll have to hammer it, down a little bit, smooth it out, and work my way down. But this will allow me to pull those two pieces of metal together. Okay, give me a second, and I'm gonna pause it. I'll be right back. Okay, I now have this thing tacked. I got a light tack on top, and I got another light tack at the bottom down there. And it don't have to be very big. You just have to make sure it stays on there. I mean, it's not coming off. Now, when I want to take this off, like I do at this point, just tilt it forward. Do not tack the back. Just tack the two front corners. And you'll watch as I draw that together now. Now, sometimes these will pop loose, and you have to just retack them again. And just all I do is I grind off the old tack and keep reusing the same thing over and over again. And it may pop, but you can see. And plus, I put this pretty close to the two sheet pieces coming together. So basically, it's pulling right here and right here to bring those two pieces together, and as I turn that, it's actually getting tighter, and it's closing that gap. There was a pretty good gap there. So now I actually can hit that spot weld, I can tap this down, and then actually that's as far as this clamp will go. I don't have a long enough vice grip clamp to get through this whole back of this. Man, that's 12 inches, a foot. So I'm not even sure if the big vice grip clamps reach, because I think they can't get that deep. These work great. Usually I have 2 or 3 of these, and I'll put 1, 2, 3, tack them all, pull everything together. This also works great for leveling metal. So you can bring 2 sheets of metal up even each other, and you can get a nice clean tack, make sure everything's nice and level. But this works great for sheet metal like this. You can get the metal tight. It works on, even if you're, here I was able to basically clamp stuff, but here I can't. So that works great, and I'm not gonna break it off because I got it tacked in place. I'm gonna leave it, but all I do is undo it, wiggle it back and forth, and it'll pop right off, and I'll have a nice clean break, and I can clean that up, and just if I have a little hole there, I can always weld if I want to. That's why you just want a light tack weld on the top 2 corners. And then you can make 2 or 3 of these things. I don't know why I don't sell these. I've been making these for years. You just get you don't need to use angle iron. It can just be a flat piece of plate at the bottom. Make sure it overhangs, so you got something to tack to. Make sure the thread here goes beyond. Because you see I'm already pulling. I still got another inch there. I can go at least an inch, half inch, 3/4 of an inch. That way, if I had to, I'm not going to. It'll start actually, if I keep tightening this down, it'll bow this edge back farther. So, but it's pulled that together, and if I need to get more, I can get an aluminum punch, hit that, and take all the waves out. But these things work great. Another tip I can give you is on drill bits, so bear with me. All right, so I watch all these videos of these guys, and they're drilling, they do this. And they run the drill, and they're pushing pressure, and basically you're destroying your drill bits. So, like I said, I already started to drill that one time, but I'll make another one. So if you're going to use your drill bits, because let's face it, drill bits aren't cheap. So now I don't want to use all my angle iron up. I'll just drill a hole right there and call it good. So I want to vary the speed of my drill as I'm going through this. So instead of doing a full out just I want to do this. Now I'm gonna put light pressure. If you watch the flakes coming off that, it's every time I back off, that's when it flakes. You see the flakes coming out. You know, so every time I slowed down, that's when it started throwing material. It wasn't when I was at the highest speed. It's when it reached the speed that matched the pressure of the drill bit. If you think about a drill press, as you're pulling down on that drill on the arm, you can maintain a steady pressure, and you don't pull beyond the ability of the bit to cut. You pull until you see it cutting good, and that's the pressure you maintain. You can't really do that very well with a handheld drill. You know, I was just pushing light pressure downwards. And drill bits are expensive, especially if you get a good set of steel drill bits. Vary that speed, dog it. And that drill bit will last you an eternity before it gets dull. It drills way, way faster. I've had races with guys with running the same drill bits through same type of steel, and I've cut 2 holes of their one by varying that speed, because it cuts. You can see the material it left just that little bit there. And you watch the video, it only threw metal when it hit a certain point. The rest of the time it was just kind of just sitting there spinning, heating up, and dueling your tip. So vary that speed every few seconds. That's Machine Shop 101 for today, ladies and gentlemen. So that clamp, I've been making those for years. Make them yourself. I'm assuming if you're doing this kind of work, you have a welder. So make that kind of clamp. These C-clamps are cheap. Go to Harbor Freight, buy them for a couple bucks. Then just get some flat pieces of steel, weld on there, and voila, clamp it and go anywhere. And yeah, stop destroying your drill bits. Okay, hope that helps somebody. Peace.